Hello, good morning. Welcome to support group. I have a little announcement that I want to make first. This Monday, I actually posted on Facebook letting you know the details. This Monday, we're going to have a holiday healthy potluck where we're going to gather together, bring some healthy dishes, and just give each other support, talk about our journey, and hopefully get to know new faces. So if you're new, come and join us. That'll be a good opportunity to get to know people. If you have family members, friends, anyone that has been a support system for you that you want to bring, feel free to do so. I still don't know what I'm going to bring, but it's going to be Monday the 16th at 6 p.m. It's going to be right after the yoga class that starts at 5 p.m. So you don't want to miss that. Come on over and join us. Okay. Oh, here in Lanier Park campus. Details are on Facebook. So it's 675 White Sulphur Road, Suite 125 here in Gainesville, Georgia. Here in this room, the Blue Ridge room, Suite 125. Yep. All right. So today what I wanted to do was, this is the end of the year. It's December. So I thought this was a good month for reflecting. The holidays are really busy, so it's actually very hard when you're at home or you're so busy doing what you need to do to get ready for the holidays and whatnot. I feel it's actually hard to sit down and stop your brain for a second and think. So I thought that you guys coming in today would be a good time for us to reflect. And that's actually something that I personally feel like maybe we don't practice enough. At least I don't. If any of you do, then that's great, because when you reflect back on anything positive, negative, you learn so much about yourself, and it also, I think, prepares you for the future, because you can think, how am I going to do things differently to improve and such. So the first question that I had is for you guys is, what changes are you proud of?
Well, my weight for one.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
I mean, that's the biggest one, right? I think, and just changing habits, old habits, and
how I look at food.
Right.
Okay,
It's
so
changed.
can you tell us more about that? So you're proud. She said that she's proud of how she looks at food.
I don't look at it as my best friend anymore. I look at it as fuel my body, keep me going.
Excellent. Excellent. That's awesome. That makes me so happy, because that's exactly what we want.
Yeah.
When I talk to my patients, I describe it as improving your relationship with food.
Yes.
Because it's kind of like, for a lot of people, based on my observations and based on what I've heard from my patients, it's an unhealthy relationship with food.
Oh, definitely.
And same as if you can think about an unhealthy relationship you've had in the past that you've had to deal with and say, you know, no more. You can be part of my life, but you're not going to dominate my life. It's very comparable to the experience.
I still think about food, but I'm excited about taking like old recipes that were just more unhealthy and making them healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just exciting for me, because I love to cook, so that's probably not going to change. But the things that I make are changing. So, and I've gotten all kinds of responses from, you know, what I post and stuff on my food, and everybody's like, I got to try that. How do you do that? And,
Yeah.
you know, making this, you know, cauliflower stir fry or something like that.
Yeah.
And just changing those recipes, because I can still have it, but I can still have it in a healthy way.
Exactly.
You know, zucchini lasagna or whatever you know it's going to be. Just try to keep it on the light and healthy side, and just try to change that recipe and eliminate the sugars and keep the protein, and just I just look at something now and I go, oh, I can do that this way.
Right.
You know, instead of the old way.
Right.
And you know, I'm Italian, so you know we used to make a lot of, you know, my father was born in Italy, so we had lots of things that we made that we probably shouldn't have.
Yeah,
and you know, he used to eat pasta every day, and he was this big around, but you know, it's just It was one of those guys that did that even to in his 70s, stayed thin.
Mhm.
But he always exercised, so he
Mhm.
always ran. So
And the thing is that you don't have to let go of that
No.
heritage.
No.
You can embrace that heritage
Yes.
and make something that has that Italian influence, but is healthier.
I made the zoodles and clam sauce. You know,
Mhm.
clams are very good, and just making different things
Hello.
like that. So hey,
Good,
and it's
good.
just fun for me. So I still think about it, but I think about it like, how can I change it and make it good? So
Yeah.
then it won't. It'll still be, like you said, part of me.
Right.
Because everybody's asking about me. Well, what are you cooking now? Well, what's happening now?
Uh-huh.
How do you,
And-
you're not making the old things that you used to
And
make.
to me, the Italian cuisine also focuses on fresh
Yeah.
herbs
And
and
especially
produce and things
northern-
like that. So you can,
Mhm.
unfortunately, I feel that here in America, we tend to take
Oh yeah,
the
it's Italian. It's
maybe the
American
worst
Italian.
part of that
Yeah.
cuisine
Yes.
and make it the main thing on the plate. But really, Italians, I bet I've never been to Italy,
Listen.
but based on what I've seen,
Yeah.
I know they're all about the markets and fresh produce.
And my father was from northern Italy, and that's the lighter things, and the seafoods. And
Yeah.
and
Probably the
and-
portions are like 5 times smaller than the
Yes.
Italian restaurants
That's right.
here.
Yes, the portion. It's not just heavy sauces. It's not about that.
Mhm.
And they love artichokes and fresh vegetables.
Ooh,
they
I
just
love
do.
artichokes.
I made steamed artichokes in the Instapot. It's really good.
Ooh,
Lemon juice.
we're gonna have to talk because
Yes.
I bought an Well, I didn't buy it. The hospital bought an Instapot
Yeah.
for a cooking class, and
Yeah.
I've never used it. But I want to show you guys how to use it.
Yeah, it's
So
wonderful.
I'd love if you allow
and there's
me.
an Instapot app that's really good that you can just put whatever you want to
Uh-huh.
make. It'll come up. And there's a bariatric one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you can get bariatric recipes for the Instapot.
So if you don't mind
Yeah.
sharing the recipe with
Sure.
me, and we can showcase it in the
I made
cooking
bone
class.
broth.
And I'll say,
The bone broth.
Bobby
that got
Scott.
me through the surgery.
buy Bobby's. I will write it in the recipe card. Your name. I'm just
That's
kidding.
what got me
I don't have to
through
do
my
that.
surgery was the bone broth.
Yeah.
And having all that good marrow cartilage for your hair, your skin, your nails.
Mhm.
So yeah, and you don't have to do it 48 hours. You got an Instapot. It's done in like an hour and a half.
Mhm. Let me tell. So another question for you.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to develop the skill of first knowing the nutrition information and being able to apply that information in your cooking? So how long did it take you to learn how to transform a recipe and turn it into something healthy? Because that's something that I try to teach my patients. So if there's anything that you did that helped you, or if you want to share your experience.
Well, just basically reading more labels. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos about learning how to read these labels and what's in it and what those things actually are, what's good and what's not. Like there's something called carrageenan that's it's actually a seaweed, but it's a emulsifier that keeps stuff on the shelves longer. Bad for your gut bacteria. So you look for things like that. So I just kind of studied it a little bit. So it's more like really just diving into more of the nutrition end of it.
Right.
But as far as the cooking healthy, I think I started that way before my surgery because I just love to cook. But I knew there was things that I shouldn't do, so I would try to change it up a little bit.
Okay.
But I'd probably say the past year is how I can try to get to that point where I can look at something and
So
go,
a
I
year.
know how to do
Would you
that.
say a year and
Yeah,
more because you've been
a year.
trying before that? Yeah. So the reason I'm asking the time frame is
Uh-huh.
because I knew you weren't gonna say like a month.
Oh no.
Because that's the thing.
No, it's pretty
Learning
much
these
over
skills
a year, and you
takes
have to-
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
People that's been on, like us, that have been on diets all our adult lives,
Yeah.
we have learned through the years, you
Yes.
know, you use low-fat cheese and not full-fat cheese, and
Right.
you just kind of learn.
Yeah, and I think I started before that, but my problem was the portions and then activity, because I was in a wheelchair last year, and I was 2 years before that because I couldn't walk, and my both my knees were so bad and my ankle I couldn't walk. So I had inactivity, so I knew I couldn't take in a lot of calories. So that's when I started to try to change it up.
Yeah.
But you know, that's how I got big in the first place, was just that not being able to move. And you know, it backfires on you. You just, you know.
Right.
So it didn't matter even if I ate something that was healthy. If you're not moving, you I mean, it's just math. You can't burn off what you're taking in.
Yeah, and going off of what you said, because I've been reading about that more recently, research is showing that it's have you ever heard of the 150 minutes per week exercise? Okay, so that's a guideline that was developed by big organizations, health organizations, that have gathered research together and said, okay, you need about 150 minutes of exercise a week to help you with the weight loss. But more recent research is showing that that's at least
amount.
At least what you need is 150 minutes of exercise a week. And that will get you a slow weight loss. So if you want the exercise to really help you even more with the weight loss, you have to do more than 150 minutes a week, closer probably to 200 minutes per week. And then it was saying that for weight maintenance, to prevent regain, closer to 300 minutes of exercise. And when I say exercise, I don't mean like, you know, no, I don't mean like, you know, pumping iron for 30 minutes. No, I mean getting that heart rate up. So if it's something that you enjoy that is not indoors, for example, like going to a trail here, there's tons of trails in Georgia, so there's many places that you can go to enjoy nature, breathe in fresh air, and you can go uphill, which will get your heart rate going. Kind of a way to know is if you can easily talk, then you're not working enough. You have to have, you can talk, but you have to have a little bit of a hard time talking, and you can't definitely sing. If you can sing, you're not working yourself enough, right, to get your body really to getting to that point where you can say, okay, this is truly that moderate to vigorous physical activity. So for those that are listening and didn't know that about, if for maintenance you want anywhere somewhere between 200 and 300 minutes a week, and you can break it up whichever way you want to throughout the whole week. Like I said, it's not necessarily pumping iron, just anything that can get your heart rate up. So yes.
I didn't know that. Because like, well, that would be the reason why I'm not really losing, because I only do on a treadmill. And I do, because I have an incline on my treadmill. So I'll start off, I'll go like up and down. But like I'll do like 30 minutes, so clearly 90 minutes a week is not.
Right. So 90 minutes a week, research has shown so far that it really does not have a big impact on helping you with weight loss. It does help with making you healthier, keeping your cardiovascular health,
your joints and stuff.
Right. But when we're talking specifically weight loss, research hasn't shown that really has an impact. So
150 minutes to 200
at least, yes. Of moderate to vigorous, which means you can't sing, you have to be able to, you can talk, but it's difficult. It's like you're like, okay, yes, I was, you know, that kind of, and again, just, you can be creative with what is that exercise that you enjoy doing. Any kind of physical activity that would get you to that point. Okay? Yes.
You need to step it up.
Right. And that's not easy, because we work, I mean, most people work, and that's, if it's sitting down at a desk, that's like 7 to 8 hours sitting at a desk. And that's another thing that's very unhealthy, is sitting down. And one other thing that I learned is that even if you are very active, but if you still sit down for 8 hours a day, it can have detrimental effects on your health. And that shocked me, because I've I didn't know that. I thought that if you were
Yeah.
super active before or after, that would negate the 7 or 8 hours that you're sitting. So that was eye-opener for me. And now what I'm going to try and do is kind of watch the clock and get up and move around and stretch and, you know.
Well, that's what I think like the Fitbit and the Apple Watch is good
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Because it will remind
So
you.
I know how many
you
minutes
need to
I get.
stand.
Yeah.
My dog ate mine.
Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. He literally ate it and swallowed it.
Oh,
Can't
no.
you just wrap him around your arm and
Wrap him around. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Is he
It took me a second. I was like, what? My dog, and actually he's kind of like the wiener dog,
Yeah.
so he would fit
Swear.
nicely in my arm.
Oh my goodness, is he alright?
He's alright.
Oh, okay.
He's got
Oh
a
my God.
stomach, I don't know, made of what.
Oh.
Okay, but we're getting off.
Okay.
So today we're talking about reflecting. So the first question I brought up, that since you weren't here, was what changes are you proud of? Because we tend to focus too much on, we tend to be very hard on ourselves and just focus on the negatives. This is a good time to focus on what are you proud of? What do you look back into and feel proud of?
Well, I'm not what I was, but I'm not where I want to be.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
you know, it's kind of like I'm at a plateau, but now
Mhm.
that would explain with the whole
Mhm.
exercise thing that you just pointed out to, because
Yeah.
I've been doing this 3 times a week for months
Right.
and thinking, oh, I'm getting in my 30 minutes 3 times a week. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'll go on there extra, but
Mhm.
that would be the reason why I'm not seeing any results.
Mhm.
So, okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
And
that's
this
what I
is
need
the
to-
this research that I'm telling you about is big. It's like every like 10 years they gather information of good research, not
Mhm.
bad research.
Mhm.
They take the good research and figure out what the findings are. And they don't discriminate when they pick patients or people, participants, they don't discriminate if they have heart disease or diabetes. They still include them because they know that the reality is that
Yeah.
that population tends to have more of these
Mhm.
conditions. So they're taking into account people with chronic medical conditions. So yes. Okay. One of my questions was, did you try a new healthy food? So you talked about changing up your recipes, which is
Yes.
really good.
Yeah.
Anyone tried something new that's healthy that you liked? Or anyone on YouTube? I'm watching here to see what. Oh, attempting to reconnect. Oh no. Okay, reconnected. Or anyone here on YouTube, I have my phone here, I can see if you have any ideas, you can comment, hopefully I'll be able to see them. Anything that you tried new?
I tried cauliflower. I'm not really a
Mhm.
fan of it.
How
You
did
tried
you?
roasting it? though?
Ha, I was
Roasting
gonna
it?
say.
Well, no, I tried to do it like as a rice
Yeah.
or like a
okay.
mashed potatoes,
Yeah.
and I didn't.
I don't like that either.
Yeah, I didn't. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so disappointed.
I like it, but I've got to, put my turmeric or paprika. I mean, you have to put spices in it to make it taste good. Because by itself, I think the whole idea to make it, and why people want to make it like rice,
Mhm.
is because like rice, it absorbs any flavor you give it. So you can, fancy it up a little bit. Like maybe you want Mexican flavor.
Okay.
Maybe
Right.
you want, use
Oh,
cumin
Just-
or something like that. Or maybe, but roasting it is the best.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
With paprika or a little cumin.
Okay.
It's really great. I put a couple of walnuts on top so it roasts with it. It's really good. I make like cauliflower steaks. You might like that, where it's a little
Oh.
bit thicker and
Mhm.
you roast it and it has all that lovely brown,
Okay.
Mhm.
beautiful bits.
Which
Because-
brown means flavor.
Brown means
Yeah.
flavor.
Mhm.
Okay.
That, and there's basically a little bit of olive oil, but that's all you need: olive oil, salt, and pepper, and then your spices.
Okay.
Whatever flavor you might want. Indian flavor, you can
Okay.
do anything with
Yeah,
it.
don't give up on it.
Yeah.
Is the important
I
thing.
think
Well, that's what
I
was
think
just
it's
curious
just
to
plain.
see,
You're
is
saying,
just the way maybe
Yeah.
like I made it,
yeah,
because I know everybody on the website is like, oh, I love it, I this, I that, and I was like, oh, let me try that,
Yeah.
because, rice,
And it may not be
potatoes,
something that you
pasta,
like.
that is my downfall,
You know.
Yeah.
so I try to stay away from that and figuring that I can, use that, or unless I find like protein pasta but then, you know, that's.
That might be a good thing if you feel, since you love making it, bring it to the potluck on Monday.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
So-
were here when I said, no, you weren't here, that we're gonna have a healthy potluck kind of
Oh, I
holiday
saw it on the website.
get together.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
So.
My problem is I can't drive at night, so I can't come.
Aw,
Because,
too
you know, my eyes,
bad.
to my diagnosis, I
Cause
just
I,
am.
we
Yeah.
can't either. And then
Oh.
it would
So
be
that's-
dark. when
Yeah,
it
I know,
even started
unfortunately, it's
out.
not in
Right,
the
because
summer.
of.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mhm.
where, you know, the winter, it's
We
already
got
dark.
2 hours to get here.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
that's what I'll make then.
Yeah. But,
Okay.
you know, even if you might not like that, there might be other vegetables that you could roast that would taste good, you know, maybe
Okay.
asparagus or
Mhm.
broccoli, they all taste
Oh,
good
yeah,
roasted.
okay, I like that.
Carrots especially, you know,
Mhm.
if you cut them lengthwise and roast them or on an angle,
Mhm.
and they just come out so good, they just taste like sugar sometimes.
Yeah, it brings
It's
up the
Wow.
sweetness.
very
Okay.
good with carrots, so you don't have to use cauliflower, maybe you
Okay.
just won't, you know, but you can try it, maybe
Yeah.
use some other spices on it, but
Okay, well, that's what,
you
that's
can
what I'll
roast
do,
any
because I
kind of
thought about, maybe I
vegetables.
needed to add, I'm like, nobody really said that, but that's,
Yeah.
that's a good
Mhm.
idea. I'm gonna put that down.
And I usually take a picture and post what I make, so.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it sometimes helps somebody
Yeah,
else.
exactly, okay,
you
all
know.
right, that's good.
Great. So, is there anything very valuable to you that you learned so far in this journey? Something, the one thing that you feel that is very valuable to you?
I think how much strength I have to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
It surprised me.
Wow.
That I didn't know I had in me, right?
Yeah.
Don't you feel that way? You feel empowered, maybe is the
I
word?
can do more than I thought I could do.
Because now I can see where it's going. Before you just seemed hopeless
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
desperate, you know, and now you're not. The feelings are so different,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I think it's a mood thing too. I mean, it just, you know, the anxiety of being unhealthy and all that, and then you find out there's something good you can do, and it's empowering, and you just keep, it gives you strength to keep going on,
Yeah.
you know.
That's
So
amazing.
I think that's one of the most important things
Mm-hmm.
I've found.
Mm-hmm. We surprise ourselves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's excellent. Anything else that you guys want to share? Anything
I
valuable?
thought the 2-week liquid diet was the hardest,
Mm-hmm.
but I find like maintaining the lifestyle is the hardest,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I mean, it's, you know, 'cause not every day is a good day.
Mm-hmm. No, and that's the truth
Yeah.
for.
You know, but then
For
I'm like,
everybody.
I think about it, I'm like, okay, don't be so hard on yourself, because everybody, you know, whether they have gastric sleeve or not, they all, you know, we all go through that,
Mm-hmm.
you
Right.
know, so it's just that, okay, you did it, now you gotta
Right, move on. Go to the
move
next
on,
day.
go on to the
That's
next,
right.
exactly, don't sit there and worry, you know,
Mhm.
about what you did or what you ate and all of this other stuff, because to me, that's just gonna make it worse.
So it sounds like something valuable that you've learned is changing that mindset.
Yeah,
You know, we used to think when we dieted, and I don't know about you, is when you cheated or just ate something bad, you go, I ruined it anyway,
Yeah,
I'm not
might
gonna,
as well.
Yes.
might as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah.
So that's what's changed, right?
Yes.
It's just, you know better than, if that
Mhm.
day went bad, there's
Yeah.
tomorrow, and just just focus on
Mhm. That's right.
Mhm.
that. And, yeah.
So that's something that I also share a lot with my patients, because I believe that that's something it's important. I don't know if you call it a skill or whatever it is. It's important to be able to be successful
It's a
long term.
mindset,
So can you pinpoint, like, how did that mindset change for you? Like, what got
You know, I
you
don't
to
think you
change
woke
that
up
mindset?
one day and it was like that. I don't think
Well,
that. I think
you just think, for what I've gone through, I've done this, I've had this surgery,
Mhm.
I'm not going back.
Mhm.
And every time I think about going back, I think about what I've done. And I just can't go back again. I also have a couple of friends that said, no, you don't have that surgery. I know people that's had it that have gained all their
Yeah,
weight
I
back.
always
Yeah.
hear that.
And
It's
by
so.
gosh, I'm gonna prove them wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, Barbara, you tell them.
Uh-huh.
That's right, because that's
Uh-huh.
all I hear a lot of times
Yeah.
from people that don't know,
Yes.
and it's just a lack of knowledge
Mhm.
Right.
that they
Well,
talk that
what
way.
you told us recently, there was something like, 5%
Right.
of people, only 5% gain
Regain.
all their weight back.
Mm-hmm.
Some people do gain a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but
Because it's gonna come to the point where your body says, "I'm good here.
Yeah.
I'm good." Because the body wants to feel comfortable at a certain weight
It's trying to catch up to them.
before it felt comfortable,
Well, you think
ironically,
about it.
in the weight that you were.
You think about it. Before I had lost weight, you know, a good bit of weight. But when I quit, I went right back to that weight I was,
Mhm.
and then gained a little bit more.
Mhm.
Your body wants you to
Yeah.
be at that weight.
Yep.
Why, for
It's-
Pete's sake?
So,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
our unfortunately, because our bodies are incredible and are great in so many ways how they can adapt, but unfortunately the body, even if you have excess weight that is detrimental for your health,
Your body likes
if
it.
you lose weight, it doesn't like it.
Mhm.
No matter
Really.
if you have 100 pounds on top of what you should have,
It's
you
that
should have.
starvation mode that it
The
goes.
body doesn't like
Mm-mm.
weight loss.
That's right.
So it starts sending out hormones and signals to get you to crave not just food, but calorically dense foods that will quickly get you to that number that you were before. So that's a natural response to dieting is those signals that the body sends you.
I think that's why just calorie restriction never made it for anybody. You know, all those diets that, you know, Jenny Craig or whatever, all of them, they just restrict calories and your body's fighting it back to get back to that
And
thing.
you
and
could
it's-
lose 60 pounds in 6 months and gain it back in 3.
Yeah.
I mean, it just,
Because your
wham,
body
you go
will, yeah.
right back to that weight.
Mm-hmm.
It's like back
So
in the
I have
caveman
learned
days.
that I am not
Yeah.
going to do that
Mhm.
anymore.
Right. That's how the surgery is a great tool, and it helps patients because of the restriction and because it changes you at a cellular level. You know, you don't have so much that hunger hormone as you did before. So that's the way that this surgery helps patients get through that wall that you
Yes.
guys always face.
Yeah.
That's how it helps. There are people that are able to lose the weight without the surgery, but they're fighting a lot of those signals, and you know, it's pretty miserable
It
for a
is
long
miserable.
time
It is.
before their body can say, okay, it's fine. I'm good where I am.
Good where you are.
Yeah. So, and what about missteps that you had? And of course, I'm all about looking at the positive side. So let's talk about missteps. Any missteps that you can think of, and if you overcame it, great. If you haven't, let's come up with a plan. Here, right now, we can help each other with that. So, any missteps?
First time you go through dumping syndrome,
Mm.
that's a good lesson to learn. You
Yeah.
don't want to go there anymore.
Yeah.
Don't want to get to that point. So that misstep was one time.
Again, that's
Well-
why we put in the PowerPoint and the
Mhm.
Bariatric 101 that's a benefit of the surgery, because then you're not going to want to go that route anymore.
Go there.
It
Yeah,
helps
one
you
time
stay
I-
away from
I
those
think I-
foods.
Ate too fast again. It's that trying to slow down and you forget.
Yeah.
And I was
Mhm.
just miserable. I was like, I mean, I couldn't lay any way or do anything or get up and stretch. And I was like, you had to eat that last little piece that was on there. And I can't learn to just, you know,
You don't need that.
toss
You're
it out.
through
I'm
that.
done.
You don't want that anymore.
you know. And yeah, I mean, I catch myself doing that every once in a while. But I know what I did, and it's like, you know, I try to remember that pain.
Yeah.
It's
And then-
mindful eating.
Yeah. it is.
Sometimes I rush in, I'm hungry, eat too fast.
Yeah.
But those missteps teach lessons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
And the same thing I find, like, a few times, like, I forget when I'm eating that you gotta wait the 20 minutes
Yes.
to half hour
Mhm.
to drink.
Mm-hmm.
Well, once I take that first sip, it's like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
oh no, it's too soon.
Uh-huh.
When you get that
Yeah.
gas bubble,
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
that's how it feels like a bubble that's just sitting right
Stuck.
there.
It's like
And then
stuck
and then
right
I
here.
have to start walking around, walking around, and I'm
Uh-huh.
like, oh my goodness, it's not.
Well, these are habits we've done all our life,
Yeah,
so it's,
exactly,
you know,
yeah.
you're
And
just not gonna
I've
change
learned
overnight.
Yeah.
to
No.
do not have your water.
Yeah, I don't
on
even
the
have it
table.
there.
Don't
I don't
have
even have it
near
there,
you.
because I
Right.
will pick it
I
up.
do
Yes.
too. I do too. every
Right, because you're
time.
so used to it. It's almost like muscle memory, I
You're so
feel.
used to it. Mhm.
Now, sometimes while I'm cooking something, then I'll drink, because I know it's gonna be like
Mhm.
30
A little
minutes or an
while.
hour
Yeah.
before I eat.
Yeah, that's a good
So that's a
strategy.
good
Have
way
it
to do it.
while
Have
you're
it by the
preparing the meal,
the
dip on
stove
it.
or whatever.
Mhm.
But don't put it
Yeah,
near
don't
you.
put it near where you're gonna eat.
It's just a habit.
Mhm. Mhm.
And don't eat in front of the TV, because that's
Mhm.
another bad habit I had.
Mhm.
Because you're watching, you're not paying attention. I mean, we
Mhm.
gotta pay attention to what we're doing.
Right. You've got to have them do mindful
Yeah.
eating.
Mhm.
And it's
And
hard. It's hard. It's not
and
easy.
you can train your brain to be more mindful
Mhm.
of whatever it is, not just
Mhm.
food, but just everything in life in general. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like telling yourself, okay, stop, think,
Right.
think. What are you doing?
Mhm.
Because sometimes we're just in like autopilot mode
Right.
and we're thinking about something else, kind of like when we drive, which is
Mhm.
crazy to me how we drive in autopilot
Dangerous.
so often.
Mhm.
Yes, right. So, like, using the car example, when you get in a car, it's a good idea to say, stop,
Mhm.
think. You're about to get on the highway, 60 miles per hour, 70 miles per hour, 80
Yeah,
miles
they go
per
by
hour.
like you're standing still.
Stop your brain
Mhm.
and focus on what you're doing right now. And we can
Look
apply
at your
that.
phone, don't, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can apply that with meal times. You know,
Right.
before you sit down to eat, stop, think, okay, I'm hungry, but I'm gonna take it one bite at a time. I'm gonna make sure to chew properly,
Put
and
your
that.
fork down.
And I saw something that was real, one of these weight loss surgeons in California was saying, when you do put the fork down, he said he likes his patients
on
to
your
put on
hands.
your hands for a few minutes and then pick the fork back up.
Yep.
And he actually does it, even though he doesn't have to.
Mhm.
He's a weight loss surgeon that does YouTube videos. He's hilarious.
Mhm.
He's a little strong because he
He's got
tells it
some
like it
uses
is.
bad language.
Yeah, and sometimes
Oh, my.
you'll hear
I mean,
you'll hear something.
I don't
and you
know
go,
this guy.
Whoops. Yeah, Dr. V. You know what I'm talking
Dr.
about.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up.
Oh my
But he
goodness, he's
does
a
do
little,
good
but he
videos.
just
Very
tells it
good.
like it is, and
He
it's,
does.
and he, you know, he just
Sometimes you need
goes
people
over
like
things
that.
step by step. Yeah, because they're not going to be coddled because they're just not going to do it. And he's just,
If you keep your fork in your hand, you're gonna eat too fast.
Yeah,
You
you
just
gotta
put it
set it
after
down.
each bite, put your fork down.
Right.
You know what I realized? That even now, after being 2 years out, like my eyes are still bigger than my belly.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh no, I can eat that. And I'm
Mhm.
like, why not just too?
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, push it away, because one thing that I noticed, that since having the surgery, that if I know when I've eaten too much, when I start to get
Mm-hmm.
that bubble.
So for you, it's a bubble.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, that's it, no more.
Okay.
And then I have to walk away from it, because it's just like,
Are you noticing any signals before that? Because it sounds like the bubble means I've had more than I
you know
needed.
what? I don't know. Maybe, and I'm not
I don't.
listening.
See, I don't
'Cause
get
I
that.
know
I'm-
it's different
I'm
for every
scary. I'm
patient.
so scared about that because I don't get any of that.
Mhm.
Or sometimes not only the bubble, but I'll start to get like the hiccups,
Okay,
I
well
wish
that's,
I did.
and I'm like, uh-oh,
Scary.
is that, and the weirdest thing about it is that with having a smaller stomach, you can kind of feel it,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like, okay, all right, then I know.
that's a
you know.
full feeling though. That's when you
Mhm.
stop.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what that is.
Right.
Okay.
It's telling you, don't go no more.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
I get
Yeah.
either the hiccups or.
But again, if we're in autopilot,
Yeah.
we're not gonna notice that.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like that technique is really
Well,
helpful.
you know what? I think now I'm gonna pay attention, now that you said that, if I got any other
Mm.
prior to
Yeah.
getting the gas bubble.
And another thing is, if you go back to the portion sizes that your books tell you, like half a cup of this,
It's
a
that
quarter
small
cup
plate.
of that, at least that helps you. If you have to carry measuring cups with you, and like I wouldn't care, at a restaurant, if you're really struggling, then you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So who cares if you pull out the
Right.
measuring cup,
You're
pull
paying
it.
for it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You
That's
you
right.
put it on the cup just to double check, and you're like, okay, I did eyeball correctly. This is the portion, just to know kind of what based on the recommendations, what the limits are. But that doesn't mean you have to finish the whole thing. That's just kind of to give you a guideline, but paying more attention to those signals. So that could be a good thing for 2020 is become
More.
learn a little bit more about what your stomach is telling you.
And I tell you, I have those little plates,
Uh-huh.
and I have little fun plates, little appetizer plates. I have some shaped like fishes, and some, I just make. I make when I have shrimp. Their appetizers are just small little plates, but you got to make it fun too.
Yeah.
Instead of just a plain round plate, I get bored with that. Isn't
That's
that funny?
funny.
It's because it's presentation and it satisfies because with our eyes too.
Yeah.
And if it looks good, you're going to enjoy it, you're going to like it, and you're going to eat less. That's just me. I mean, that's just the way I feel. It's just fun.
And like, when you say like portion size, it should be like for your meal, like for your protein and your vegetable. And you should have like, what is it, like a half a cup or a
So
whole
for the
cup
protein, about a half a cup, anywhere around 3 ounces of
Okay.
protein. And then for anything starchy that's dense in carbohydrates, like
It should be less.
a grain or like a potato, or fruits have their own natural sugars. So that group, that's about a quarter of a cup.
Okay.
And then for the non-starchy vegetables, a quarter cup as well.
can't
Or
get
some
that
people,
far.
what they'll do is instead of including a quarter cup of the carbohydrate group and a quarter cup of the non-starchy vegetables, they'll do a little bit more of the non-starchy vegetables and then a little bit less of the starches. But again, these are guidelines.
Okay.
Our goal as dietitians is to help patients figure out how to identify and be on cue with the signals that your body gives you. But I keep hearing, not from you guys, I keep hearing from other patients too, that is challenging because some don't feel.
I don't.
I did.
So
at
the
beginning,
portions
but not
are
now.
keeping
You have
the right portion sizes is key for you
It
then.
is.
Okay. Well, good. Any other missteps that actually led to like a valuable lesson or anything at all that you guys want to share?
Pretty much the eating more than you're supposed to.
Yeah,
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm.
that's still a big thing.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. Think about if anything that you've taken for granted
Since
this past year.
since the surgery or before?
Looking back,
What-
well, yeah, since you've been involved in this program and making these changes, because I
Should've
feel.
did it sooner.
Okay.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry, I
Definitely.
missed what you said.
Oh, I should have did it sooner.
Yes.
Like I shouldn't have waited.
Yes.
I should have, because I mean, what really got me was looking at my 600-pound life. I looked at that show for like 4 years. And I was just like, no, I'm not really a candidate. No, I don't.
Right,
really-
because that show just shows you the 600-pound
Right.
patients.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then wasn't until when my doctor was like, your weight just keeps going up and up and up and up. And I was just like, I already, my joints was the main reason why, because my knees and my ankles was killing me. I couldn't even get on a treadmill or walk. I would be out of breath and everything else. So once I was almost to like the 300 mark, I was like, you know what? I gotta do something. And that's when I just decided, just to come and do, and get and at first I was like, no, I'm just gonna get the information. I don't think I'm gonna do it. Because like you said, you get all of those outsiders that say, oh, you're gonna gain the weight back, or oh, there's gonna be a problem during surgery, or
All these complications.
yeah, exactly. And I was just like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't do it. But then when I sat there and I realized that I had all of the risk of not doing it, and I was just like, okay, some people have it easier where they can lose weight, and But you know, if you've already tried all of the diets, whether it be
Yeah.
liquid or
Mhm.
Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig and all of that other stuff, and you see that you lose the weight, but then you put it right back on,
Mhm.
and then some.
Right.
You know, so, you know, this is why, you know, this was like the right, you know,
Mhm.
choice
Sure.
for me.
Yeah.
I
You know.
took for granted that how I was going to be the rest of my life. I was going to be fat.
Mm-hmm.
And I would eventually end up in a wheelchair somewhere, my grandkids pushing me around.
Yeah.
I just, you know, because I'd lost and gained so many times, I just, there were times I just gave up. And I thought, well, this is the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
I took that for granted.
I definitely had that mindset
Yeah,
too.
I did.
And I was actually in the wheelchair, and you know, I was at Disney World with my 3 grandsons.
Right.
And everybody pushed me around, and you know, some rides I couldn't fit in because I couldn't put the seatbelt. That was the first thing I did when I lost weight, is I went back down there and I got on the roller coaster, and I said that thing, and that was like a goal to get that thing
Yeah.
to click, that sound click.
Yeah, you told us
And not
that
everybody's
one. That was
staring
pretty awesome.
at me, you know, trying to get in and out of the ride. And yeah, I mean, so, cause I had 3 surgeries within 17 months. I had both knees replaced and the gastric sleeve within that one time, so so much trauma on my body.
Mm-hmm.
And my body's just now trying to figure out, you know,
But
But-
now I
Yeah.
know
it's,
that I didn't
there's a
have to
way.
settle for
Yeah,
that.
you
Mhm.
don't settle. And I think
I
people
weigh
do.
130 pounds.
Mhm.
I haven't weighed 130 pounds
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
50 years.
Right.
Since I was in high school.
Mm.
So, you
Yeah.
know, now I know
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it.
And just as advice, because research shows that the more farther away patients are from surgery, that's when they stop following up with their surgeons, stop coming to support group for whatever reason it is. And I just want to say, never take for granted the fact that you have all these resources for you, and if you one day realize that it's been months, or that you haven't tried to reach out to anyone, or you miss your appointment with your surgeon, or whatever it is, hopefully you can remember today and say, okay, no, I'm not going to take that for granted. I'm going to take advantage of all the resources that they've got for me, because the last thing that we want is for a patient to feel that they failed and they don't want to come back asking for help because they feel like a failure. And that's the last thing. Like, we
Yeah.
get excited when we have someone that we haven't seen in a long time, because this is a good opportunity to get them back on track, back to the basics, and, you know, get them
Well, I
healthy.
think it's different, 'cause see, now, I know I had my surgery with the doctor down here, and I don't know, I feel like I'm intimidated when I go in there, because I didn't lose enough.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost as if, like, cause I haven't been back there in a year,
Mm-hmm.
and I won't go back because I feel intimidated when I go in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it's like, oh, you didn't lose, well, you're doing this, oh, you're doing that, okay, yeah, I understand, I know
Mm-hmm.
what it is that I'm doing, you know. And I've tried with a dietitian at the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
but then it got back to, well, why are you going to the hospital to see the dietitian? You can go to the clinic
Mm-hmm.
and see the dietitian. One, I have to pay for the dietitian at the clinic,
Yeah.
and two, I don't know, it was just very intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just was like, okay, you know what, I'm not going
Mm-hmm.
back there.
Well,
I don't want, you know, and another thing, don't take for granted that you don't have to be vigilant.
Mhm.
Really, the rest of my life, I am going to have to do the right things to be healthy.
Mhm.
You know, this is not end all here, the surgery.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean that you're going.
It's actually the beginning.
It's
Right.
just the beginning, exactly.
Mhm.
You can't take for granted that, okay, I've lost weight, I'm done.
Mhm.
And like
can't
all
do
these
that.
people
Mhm.
that, you know, see you and know you and go, oh, you know, you lost so much weight, you look great, and everything. What happens when all that stops?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
really you know, it's kind of
When
scary.
people get used to you being
Yeah.
thinner.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, that's why the number in the scale should not be the only determinant of success.
Mhm.
It has to be so many other
Exactly.
things.
It has to be a
Mhm.
mindset.
But
Because it should be also not only the scale going down, but, because see, like, my biggest problem is that the scale wouldn't go down, but I would lose inches.
mhm,
And
right.
that is where, but then I would get defeated when I would go to the doctor's office, and then they would be like, oh, the scale's not moving.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, but I'm in, like, in a different size.
Mhm. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I'm in, you know, I'm not in the same clothes that I was in before, you know,
Mhm.
so, you know.
And let me tell
Your
you,
successes.
kind of like how that surgeon comes off, kind of.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know how would you
Harsh.
describe it.
Yeah.
Harsh.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just real.
Mhm.
But
yeah.
deep inside,
Yeah.
I know for sure that all they want is to see you have
Yes.
success. So I would say,
Mhm.
no matter how harsh someone can be,
Yeah.
Mhm.
also don't let that defeat you. And
Mhm.
the thing is too that one of the most important things of following up is your lab work, and making sure that you're good on that end. So, you know, and you can always come here with us and share thoughts and ideas, and we'll be your support system as well. But I know that every single surgeon, every single staff member in our hospital, no matter the personalities, because everyone has
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
personalities, and that's how it is wherever you go. You're gonna
Mhm.
have all kinds of personalities. I know that deep down, they wouldn't be working in this department if they didn't want
Mhm.
to see you succeed. So
Yeah.
I think that in life, you just have to, when that happens, you have to go in, you know, with this mindset where you kind of know the personalities and you know what to expect, and just be like,
But I know you're trying to help me.
exactly,
Mhm.
exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Deep down, I know you are trying to help me,
Mhm.
and always think, you know, not let that get you down, but hopefully those comments get you thinking, okay, what can I do better this next year? What can I do to improve, and whatever it is. So I think that kind of attitude will help anyone be successful long term. So,
Okay.
and you've already identified some things that which is gonna be was my last question, was now, what do you want to work on for the next year? What do you want to do differently? Because the whole point of this was, let's reflect and let's think, think about the next year. Don't just
Yeah.
let it happen.
Yeah.
Think about goals, think about
Well,
how you can
definitely
improve yourself.
exercise more,
Okay.
because clearly 90 minutes isn't getting it.
Yeah, and you know that before coming here, we have the class.
Yes, I know, but because of the rain, it took me so much longer to
Yeah.
get here.
Okay.
I'm
We
like,
had
oh my
fun, didn't we,
goodness.
Bob?
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And I think with the exercise too, if you can't get used to just doing one thing, you've got to really spread it out and
Mix it up.
mix it up, work
Mhm.
different parts.
Yeah. And you've
Uh,
got to quit being ashamed
Yeah.
Mhm.
of yourself.
Yeah.
Go to the gym.
Mhm.
So what if it's run by little skinny teenagers? Go to the
And
gym.
they're there in their little fancy Nike outfits. I know. And we come in all, you know.
Oh, you
You
guys
know,
are
or
funny.
all these buff people in there, you know, and there you are. And don't be ashamed.
But it doesn't
Go.
lift.
If you're paying the same as they are, you go.
Yeah, exactly. Good. I'm glad that you're saying
And we
that,
got no
because that's
excuse because
true.
we got silver sneakers. We
Is
go
that-
for free.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
we have no excuse not to go.
You're right.
Mhm,
You know,
mhm.
so
Right.
take advantage of that.
Yeah,
when
I
you
want to
can.
climb Blood Mountain again. I did it once.
Oh,
Blood
I love
Mountain?
Blood Mountain.
I
I
love
love
it.
Blood Mountain.
It's
Is that here in
it's a
Georgia?
tough-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a tough one.
tough climb.
Is it worse than Brasstown? Brasstown Ball?
Oh,
Yes,
Yeah.
oh yes. You
Oh,
have to do
man,
a
I'll
lot
have
of
to do that.
stepping up
Yeah.
on rocks and climbing, but
It's beautiful
you can
too.
see Atlanta.
Beautiful.
You can see Atlanta from Blood Mountain.
Oh.
So that's my goal for next year. I'm going to do
We
Blood
hiked
Mountain.
up there and had supper and stayed till after dark. So
Not
we
me,
could
but him.
meet a group that I hiked with,
Mhm.
and we saw the lights in Atlanta.
Oh,
It's just
nice.
beautiful. It's
Wow.
beautiful.
They call it Blood Mountain because a lot of Indians died there, and it stained the mountain red.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why, I
It's
know.
not far from
that's
here.
tragic.
I know.
It's not far from here.
I was gonna say,
Because,
why is it what
uh,
mountain? Hopefully you're
Is
not
it
all
one-
bloody by the time you get up there.
129?
That's
You go
Bow
over
Okay.
Indian blood
129 to Blairsville.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
It's on that curve.
Right at the peak.
There's a nice little stores
Okay.
there
Yeah.
too. I go in to buy little things that you
But
can't
anyway,
find anywhere
that's
else.
So that's a
So it's
great
fun.
goal.
Yeah.
And you can have multiple things, like,
She's been there 2 or 3 times. but
I've
she
been
wants
there
to go back.
once,
Mhm.
one time.
One
Just
time?
once, yeah.
Oh, I've been there a lot.
Well, my
I'll
goal
have
is
to meet you there
to
one time. We'll
also
go together.
lose
Yeah.
enough that, like, my husband and I, we went to Maui for our honeymoon,
mm-hmm.
and we went by, oh my goodness, it was so many steps when we were looking at the black sand, and I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't do it. This was
Mhm.
before my surgery, and I
Yeah.
couldn't do it. So my goal is to be able to go back
Yeah.
there
Very
in
good.
order to be able to go all the way down,
Yeah,
because it was so many steps, just too many
yeah.
steps to go down and then to
Uh-huh.
come back and all of this. I was, he was able to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't able to do it. And I said, you know what, that is one thing that I wanna be able
That's
to go
a great
back.
goal.
a
to
great goal.
do, yeah.
That gets your adrenaline
Mm-hmm,
rush.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
I'm gonna do this.
you know,
I'm,
to be healthy, so that
Right.
this way, you know, you can enjoy life,
mm-hmm.
you know, without
Yes.
having to worry, oh, I gotta take this pill, oh, I need it for this, or oh, I gotta take that, you know.
Mm-hmm. So when are you going to Maui?
I don't know, we don't have.
Schedule it. Schedule
I-
it for.
I gotta go with a smaller goal first.
Schedule it for a year from now. Schedule it for, I don't know, November, September, October,
We
2020.
We went in April, and that was like the perfect
Yeah.
time
Yeah, because
to
it's
go. It wasn't rainy season, it was
Yeah.
just beautiful weather, the whole 10 days that we were there, it was
Mhm.
just, you know, so nice.
and you already have a goal of increasing physical activity that can prepare you for that.
Yeah.
You can have that in your mind. Maui, Maui, Maui.
Yeah.
Now, at my gym, I mean, I've almost been on every machine there, but I've been eyeballing that stair stepper, but I wanna be able to do that. Cause I just had this knee done in April, so I don't
Oh,
think I
right,
can do
right,
it, but
right.
I've done this, the stationary bike and a rowing machine, which is tough. Rowing machine works your whole body,
Oh, yeah.
everything. But I still can't get that backwards flexion yet. It's
Mhm.
still frozen up in here, so.
You
Right.
do pretty
But
good.
I want it.
Yeah.
Pretty good right there.
I still can't get my leg back into. Oh.
Well, yeah, I mean, I couldn't move it off before, so, but yeah, that's what, so I wanna get on that stair stepper, that new one, and
Mhm.
try that, that's what I wanna do,
Just
just so I can get to it.
Little goals,
Yeah,
just little steps.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd get on that bike, I just never thought I could do that motion that
Mhm.
long, yeah.
I was wondering, I know that they said that there's a Planet Fitness in Gainesville.
Yeah.
That is, but is there like any, cause see, I'm in Lawrenceville,
Mm.
so to come here, you know, not for the gym, you know,
Mhm.
but I mean, if there's one like in Lawrenceville where I would still be able to get the same discount,
I bet.
or
I bet there
is
is.
it
Probably
about the
just look on their
same?
website.
So
Oh,
the she's talking about the waiving that
Yes.
initial fee. I
Oh.
don't know
Mhm.
that we've talked about Lawrenceville, but that's
Okay.
probably something easy to do. We just have to give them a call, because if you bring your a Amy's business card, then but it's only the Gainesville. I forget which other one. Man, we've got the flyer upstairs, so I can double check that for
Okay,
you. But
alright,
I don't think
okay.
Lawrenceville is included. But I can mention that to Amy, and maybe we can have those conversations with
Okay,
them.
all right,
Mhm.
okay, all right.
Yeah, because we
Well,
have
that would be-
patients in
yeah.
different areas.
Because the gym that I used to go to closed down,
Mhm.
didn't say that they closed down. I happened to go past it and I saw all of the equipment was gone. I was
Mhm.
like, what the heck? And I have been going there for years.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, okay, they closed down. I'm just trying to find something that's like in my area that,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
you know, I can be able to go to. And I know you guys were saying about the Planet Fitness.
Planet
I think
Fitness.
it is. Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
I'll look into it and let you know.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right.
Write it down before I leave. Anything else? Any other goals?
Well, do
My
something with
goal is
grandkids.
not sitting for 8 hours
Yeah.
straight. That's my goal.
I can't sit that
Well,
long
if your
anyway.
dog's watch will go off, it'll tell you to get up and move.
Maybe the goal should be get me a new smartwatch.
Get a new Fitbit.
You get your target heart rate and his eyes glow.
His tail goes like this. That's funny. Ay. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining
Thank you.
us. And hopefully we'll see you on Monday, the
Yes.
16th, yoga class, and then we have a healthy potluck.
You know what,
So,
Monday I'm not gonna be able to go because my son has Cub Scouts.
but you're more than welcome, okay? Thank you for
All right,
joining us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.